Good morning, friends, and welcome to the second day of Faculty Development Program on ICT tool for e-content development and creating MOOCs. Today, we're going to discuss about Creative Commons licensing. How we use the open educational resource or any other content in a MOOC course or in our daily classroom. So first we understand these three symbols which you have seen on the screen. First is the copyright, second is Creative Commons CC, and the third is the public domain. So copyright. For using the content, we have to take the permission from the author who possesses the copyright. It is the exclusive right of the author, so we cannot, if we see this sign, we directly cannot use the content without seeking the permission from its author. So we have to contact the author, seek the permission, and then we can use the content, because it is not freely available. It is the copyright of the author. The extreme end of the copyright we move is called public domain. So the extreme end of copyright is public domain. That means if you find this sign, you can freely use the content, and even you cannot attribute the author. It is freely available to the public on public domains. In between we have Creative Commons, that is CC. People develop different kinds of the thing, and they wish that the large numbers of people will use and attribute the author for his and her work. So in that CC, we need not to seek permission from the author, but we have to attribute the author. I think now it is clear to everyone the difference between copyright, Creative Commons and public domain. I just repeat in brief. In copyright, we seek permission from the author, but because it is the exclusive right of the author. While public domain, we need not take even the permissions of the authors, and we can freely use the content, and even we cannot attribute the author. While in Creative Commons, we need not take to the permission of the author, but we have to attribute the author for his or her work. These three things are important to understand. Now, these are the four symbols related to Creative Commons licensing. So this is the default symbol by. This is the default symbol by. So every time if you use any kinds of object, image, audio, video, which comes under to play common licensing, you will find this symbol, and also you will have to add, you can use it freely, but you could have to attribute the author. So if you see this symbol, you can use the content freely, but you have to attribute the original author for his or her work. Second is NC, that stands for non-commercial. If you see this symbol, that means you can use the object of that author, but you cannot use it for the commercial purpose. So non-commercial, so it is called non-commercial. The third one is ND, that is non-derivative. So you can use that object, but you cannot change that object, or you cannot make any changes on that object. You will have to use it as it is, or in its original form. The last one is share alike. You can change the object, you can make changes in the object, but the condition is that the licensing should be the same as the original one. So you cannot change the licensing term after using share alike. Let us understand in a graphical way what is the difference between all. So if the first one is public domain, where you can see, you can copy and publish, okay, attribution even is not required, commercial use, modified and adapt and change license. If you see CC BY, Creative Commons by, we can copy and publish, attribution is required, commercial use you can do it, modified and adapt and change license. If you see CC BY SA, Creative Commons by and share alike, in that what you have to attribute the authors, everything, but you cannot change the licensing term as SA defined, share alike defined. If you see this CC BY NC, that is CC Creative Commons by and NC, that is non-commercial. Okay, so in non-commercial you cannot use it for a commercial purpose. Same way CC BY ND, what we cannot do, we cannot modify and adapt, rest is okay, you have to attribute the authors, you can use the commercial use. Now CC BY NC SA, that means we have copy and publish, we have attribute the authors, commercial use we cannot do it, commercial use because NC is there and SA is there, so we cannot change the licensing term. Last CC BY NC ND, that means NC is there, so we cannot use the commercial, we cannot use for commercial purpose. Okay, then we have ND, so we cannot modify it and adapt, and we cannot modify it and adapt. So these two symbols are there. So in that way we can understand in a better way. So whenever you use any of the documents content, you have to see in these licensing policies, and accordingly we have to understand whether we have to attribute the author, whether we cannot use it for a commercial purpose, whether we modify it and adapt, or even we can change the licensing term. Thank you so much.